Good evening, Ape Nation. Guys, what's going on? It's Thursday, October 21st, 2021. I haven't been with you guys in a couple days. I apologize for that, but Monday's video was extremely emotional after I played it back and watched it. And I don't want to try to make this channel something that's based off emotion all the time, more based on fact. And I just got a very quick briefing of the SEC report of the total 45 pages. But as I've had time now to reflect back on the report and actually go through it in detail, it's become abundantly clear to me there was no possible way that the SEC and Gary Gensler and his staff were going to tell the story as it actually happened. With all the foreign investment that comes into the United States stock market, into the economy in general, if that report had said anything but what it said, we could have seen economic turmoil across the board. And who knows where we would be right now if the SEC came out and said, hey, the game is rigged depending on what you're buying and where you're buying and who you're buying through. Coming to that realization helped me a little more to understand why that report was written the way it was written. Now, with that being said, that doesn't change the facts of what happened back in January. And I said in Monday's video, guys, don't be discouraged. You're going to hear, they're going to come out, they're going to say we're conspiracy theorists. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just dumb apes. And sure enough, good old Charles Gasparino went on with Liz Clayman, I believe on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And this is what the exchange was between the two of them. And I'm going to debunk everything that's said immediately after we watch this clip. Roll the film.
Okay. Anyway, Liz, I hope you read the report, the Gary Gensler's report. I hope you don't fall asleep while you're reading it.
Because I found it fascinating.
It is the most turgid.
No, it is not.
You find that. you find, I don't want to say it. What else do you find fascinating?
Hey, I find it really important that Gary Gensler is out to protect investors. I think that's great, but I pointed out some flaws here.
He's not protecting anybody. By the way, here's the irony: the apes think that he's protecting them.
No, they don't.
He shut down all their conspiracy theories.
You got it all wrong.
They do. They think he's going to end payment for order flow. He's going to bring down Kenny G. He's not doing anything. That report was basically said the markets are working fine, and there's no conspiracy theories. There's no naked short selling. Yeah. There's no dark pool manipulation. It's all in there.
The apes have muscle. Period, Charlie. Okay, cut him off quickly before he starts. Take him off this.
So the proof is in the pudding. There you go. That's exactly what we said was going to happen, and it happened. And of course, it had to start with Charles Gasparino. He had to get everyone riled up.
This market is.
Let Charles Payne answer. Let Charles Payne answer. Go ahead.
Stocks up.
Who cares about your thesis? Who cares about your thesis? Who are you? Who are you? Who cares about your thesis?
Guess what? Not all the money in there are smart people.
So exactly what we said was going to happen happened. Everyone came out and said we were all loons. But it seems like at least Liz Clayman understood what was going on. And of course, Gary Gensler is not going to step in and take away payment for order flow or take down Kenny G. We know that clearly now. But hopefully we can beat that. And there's a lot of news I want to get to. So before we go any further,
cue the speeder.
And you just said that on camera. This going viral.
Guys, thank you so much for crushing it and getting me to 1,000 subscribers. If I haven't earned your subscription yet, this is the way. All right, my friends, let's get into this. So according to Charles Gasparino and a lot of other people, he wasn't the only one. All the conspiracy theories have been debunked, and what everyone thought and all the DD we had dug up, which had directed us to a conclusion about what happened in January, was false, and it was just fake news. I want to take you guys back to June 22nd, Tim Pool's podcast, Timcast IRL. And I want you to listen to the opening statement of the podcast.
Let's see if we can beat them. Let's jump into this first story. We'll kick back off where we just were with these hedge funds. Check this story out. This is amazing. I want to get a standing ovation to the GameStop, the AMC, the meme stock Apes. This is incredible. You've taken out a hedge fund. Look at this. CNET reports hedge fund that bet against GameStop is closing down. It's game over for White Square Capital. It managed $440 million in assets at its peak. It sent a letter to investors outlining plans to close down the main fund this month and return investor capital following a review of the business model, according to the report. They're announcing a double-digit percentage loss suffered by the first meme stock rally in January. And oh boy, it's only just begun. So now what you have is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, you have a lot of these big hedge funds that they manipulate the game. It's a manipulated casino. It's a rigged game. They can short a company. Then their friends in the media say, oh, this company's bad and it's going to crash. You better sell now, causing the stock price to plummet. And then the short sellers make off like bandits, stripping and manipulating all of us. So what happens is these meme stock apes are like, so these people have no choice but to buy stocks, you know, to cover their shorts. Yes. So that means if we all buy them right now and the price goes up, they're forced to buy them from us. Yes. Let's play. Now a hedge fund's just imploded.
Can they alternate?
Okay. So no one wants to give us any credit for that. And I think people sometimes forget that we wiped out that hedge fund from the UK. And don't forget, if it wasn't for Citadel stepping in, we would have wiped out Melvin as well. So do not think that by any stretch of the imagination that this game is over or we've lost any of our ability to control the narrative. As long as we have platforms where we're going to be able to speak to each other and stay in contact and be able to talk about stocks that we like and look at short interest and be able to make an estimated guess and speculate on where the price could go, then there's really nothing that they can do to stop us. Ultimately, we have just as much, if not more power than they do right now. The only thing we're missing really is a little more organization. And that's kind of going to lead me right into my next point because a lot of stuff happened today. All right, first and foremost, this article came up on Benzinga today. It says AMC Entertainment is just weeks away from announcing entirely different business line, CEO says. And I'm just going to read you a little part of this here. It says, it's the individual investor who now owns AMC. I work for them, Aaron said Tuesday on CNBC's Power Lunch. Investors should not be paying attention to what AMC Entertainment was as a business in the past. Rather, they should be looking to the future. And right, that's the big thing, right? Everyone talks about the fundamentals of AMC and how the movie theaters have been declining over the last 15 or 10 years and how they got wiped by the pandemic. But we're talking about past, and really we need to be looking towards the future. Where are the changes going to come that are going to keep AMC relevant in the news and in entertainment? Okay, so he said, you don't drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror. You drive a car by looking through the windshield and looking forward. So I don't know what this news is. There's a lot of speculation out there, but I'm not going to talk about any of them. As the news comes out, obviously I'll bring it to you guys. But it could be a number of things. And I'm sure you guys have seen the range of where it goes, from everything from dividends to possibly that they have some kind of deal with GameStop already in play. But that's just speculation, hearsay. I can't report on that and tell you any of that is fact because I don't know that. But it is good news, and I hope that this is not just a bunch of hype over nothing. And I don't know, it seems like to me that the fact that Adam Aaron came out and specifically said that and talked about investors and not the consumers, because he wasn't talking about the box office. He was talking about the shareholders. And there's a difference. Now, the other big piece of news today that came out is this. As most of you know, Donald Trump used to be our president, and he was deplatformed by all social media companies after what happened back on January 6th. Today, he announced that they were releasing a Spac. It goes by the ticker symbol DWAC. It went up 357% today. In one day, it opened, I think, at like $9 and closed at 43 something. Now, why am I bringing this up in an AMC video? Well, as you guys know, I've already had some of my videos demonetized and taken down because they said that they were based on misinformation. And one of the whole reasons I have this channel is to make sure that there is truth and fact behind what I am bringing to you for information. And we have been seeing cancel culture and the woke mob and the rest of them taking people out for using their First Amendment free speech right. And going forward, I had a very bleak outlook because some of the language that's been used, even just to talk about the apes. I mean, the fact that Laura Unger, the former SEC chairwoman, came out and said and compared us to insurrectionists and compared us to the people from January 6th. That's how they are looking at this movement. So this news for us, I think, is huge, and it has a huge impact on the community as a whole. And now I'm just going to say this. I understand there's some people out there who do not like Trump. And as long as I'm being transparent on my channel with you guys, I don't particularly like Joe Biden. I think he's done a shit job as president. He's made a lot of bad decisions. Even the most recent one, the Tucson sheriff, who he's trying to make the new border czar, who basically would not cooperate with ICE for the 4 years Trump was in the White House and wore BLM shirts. Somehow, I don't have a feeling that he's going to do a good job securing the border. Call me crazy. I'm not going to get into that conversation. I'll save that for another day. True Social is going to be the new media platform that is backed by Trump. Right now, I guess it's going to come out in May of 2022. I don't know. I see this as being good news for the apes. After you've seen YouTube take down other channels and Twitter take down people, if this is going to be a free and open place to speak, then this is really, really not just bullish for the community and the market as a whole and the ape movement and for retail, but it's also just great because we're not going to be trampled on anymore by the government and big tech censorship telling us what to say, what we can say, when we can say it. If we hurt someone's feelings, then it has to come down or we have to be canceled. You know, for me, it's not about the demonetization. It's about not allowing the flow of conversation between people with different opinions or the same opinions, whatever they happen to be. The fact that they took down that video on me, YouTube did, I wasn't able to read you guys' comments. I got no input back from you because they just wiped the video right off the face of the map. And I just don't think that's not what this country was founded on. And we need to get back to the basics here as soon as possible because we're going in the wrong direction quickly. So I'm excited about this. And here's what I'm gonna close up with. I had a conversation yesterday with Richie, and we talked about what is going on right now, from the SEC report to the MOAS with AMC. And just because Gary Gensler is not going to take away payment for order flow or take down Ken Griffin and Citadel, that doesn't mean that we have to, as a group, as a community, the retail investor, we don't have to play their game. There are brokers out there who do not engage in payment for order flow. Fidelity being one of them. There's a couple other, I think, Publix as well. We don't have to play the game, guys. If you don't want to use payment for order flow and you don't want your shares to go into dark pools and you don't want your shares to be held and become failure to delivers, and you don't want people naked shorting on you, you want to be able to go lit right to the exchange, there are brokers out there who do offer that service. And I told you guys that I transferred over to Fidelity on Monday. I made a small mistake in my paperwork, so it got delayed an extra day. But the shares did come in, and then they came back out because I had done something wrong with my address. We need to get back to this conversation, because what is the sense of staying in with these brokers who are not working in our best interest? We need to move on. And we need to get onto a broker that will allow us to go direct to the exchanges. And that's the way it should be, based on supply and demand. And I'm going to keep preaching that, I think, going forward right now, because it just makes sense. All right, that's all I've got for tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys very much making it this far in the video. If you did, if you want to like, subscribe to the channel, you know the deal. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Masterlorian, and I'm out.